Today, we're going to be talking about marketing your farm. And we've got, like all of our webinars, we've got a focus on agritourism here. My name is Lisa Chase. I'm a professor at University of Vermont Extension, and I'm also the director of the Vermont Tourism Research Center. And talking about marketing your farm today, we have the author of a newly published book, Myrna Greenfield. We're going to hear more from Myrna, as well as some of the farms that she's been working with. Ellen Parley from Parley Farms in Massachusetts, and Ryan Wilson from Demerit Hill Farm in New Hampshire. But before we jump into the topic of marketing your farm, we want to find out a little bit more about who is in the room with us. And I'm going to launch a poll now. If we were all together in a space, we would all be able to look around the room and see the amazing mix of people who are here in this virtual space with us. I have the pleasure of looking at the registration list, and I checked this morning. We had 483 people registered from almost every state in the US, from Canada, and from about 30 different countries around the globe. Since we're all here virtually on this webinar, and you can't look around and see who's here with us, I want to invite you to introduce yourself if you feel comfortable. Open up the chat and make sure you choose to share your chat with everyone, not just the hosts and panelists. And then if you feel comfortable, please introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what kind of work you do with agritourism and how it relates to marketing. While you're doing that, I'm going to end the poll and I'm going to share the results. So hopefully on your screen now, you can see the answers to our poll asking, describe yourself, who are you? And it looks like we are a majority, almost 60% farmers and ranchers. And then we've got a good mix of about a quarter of business owners. And of course, people could check more than one if they wanted. And then we've got also extension and service providers, as well as educators, tourism professionals, researchers, nonprofits, and government agencies. I'm stopping that poll now because we've got another poll, this one specific to this webinar. While you're filling out this poll, I'm going to introduce our first speaker, Myrna Greenfield. She is a food and farm marketing consultant, and she's the author of the recently published book, Marketing Your Farm, A Practical Guide to Attracting Loyal Customers and Increasing Sales. Myrna started Good Egg Marketing in 2010 to promote good food and good causes. Since then, she's taught workshops and provided marketing services to over 1,000 farmers here in the US and other parts of the world as well. I'm now gonna launch the results of the poll. So you should be able to see the poll results, and I'm gonna turn it over to Myrna now, who will talk a little bit about the poll results and then talk more about marketing your farm. Myrna?
Great, thanks, Lisa. Let me get my screen shared. So frankly, the results that I see don't surprise me at all. Only 11% of you said that you have a written marketing plan. About half of you said you had an informal plan. 22 said no marketing plan. 20% or so not applicable. And that is very consistent with the work that I've done with farmers over the years, because it's hard to do a marketing plan. It takes time, it takes some expertise, and for most farmers, it's kind of at the bottom of the list for your priorities. And I am certainly a booster of marketing plans. I encourage everyone to have a marketing plan because it's kind of like having a GPS in your car. It helps you get where you want to go. And the nice thing about a GPS is that if you take a wrong turn or a detour, you can get the GPS to recalculate and set you back on your road. So that's why I think of marketing plans as super helpful. However, today I'm going to focus on a very simple strategic framework that I think can benefit any farm, and whether or not you have marketing plans. So the thing is that if you have a farm, or really any type of business, I'm sure you're doing some type of marketing, whether or not you call it marketing. For example, most of you probably have a Facebook page or are active on other types of social media, or you may do email marketing. Maybe some of you do advertising, a ton of different marketing tactics that you're doing. The thing is that if you're doing those without having a strategy behind them, you may or may not be getting any results from it or the results that you want to get. And so whether you're using Facebook or TikTok or whatever, what I want you to take away from this is to be thoughtful about your tactics. And so the strategic framework I'm going to share hopefully will help you think about it in that way. So we're going to do one more poll. So which of the following marketing tactics, these are the questions that you're going to get asked, which of the marketing tactics have helped you attract or keep customers? Check all that apply. So that could be getting found on Google, using QR codes, partnering with other businesses or nonprofits, email marketing, posting on Facebook or any social media, maybe doing some paid advertising on Facebook or other social media. It could be other. If you want to type that into the chat, you can do that. If it's not applicable, then, just check that if this doesn't really apply to you. So while we're waiting for the results to show up, I want to make a few points, which is that farm marketing is not one size fits all. Every farm is unique. The size of your farm is different, how long you've been in business, what your budget is, what types of people you're attracting, your offerings and so on. So just because something is working for the farm down the road does not necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. Not that you can't learn from other people. You're going to hear some really outstanding marketing happening from our panelists, but do keep that in mind. It's not one size fits all. Okay, so we've got the results. Let's talk about the results a little bit. And as I suspected, posting on Facebook or other social media is number one. It's easy. And I work with a lot of farms that are very successful, never paying for any posts on Facebook. They get really great engagement. It really works well for them. But I would describe those as the minority of the farms that I work with. Almost all the farms that I work with find that they do have to advertise on Facebook a little bit to get their stuff to show. Either that or they're doing just amazing videos that are getting a lot of traction. But in general, that's been the case for me. So second on the list, getting found on Google or other search engines, that is kind of the no-brainer. There are a lot of ways that you can promote your farm successfully without any kind of payment or investment other than your time. And as with all things, the more that you know about what the secret algorithm in Google is and what the factors help you show up high in Google search results, the better you can do with it. We also have partnering with other businesses and nonprofits. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Email marketing, QR codes. So, you're using a mix of tactics, it looks like, which is great. So what I want to do is just add a couple more points before we go into the three strategies, which are that almost any tactic that you use really takes a little bit of trial and error or some testing. You cannot assume that just because you're doing it, it's successful. You need to tinker with it in most cases. And the third point, which is closely related, is, well, how do you know if it's working? And there are a lot of tools out there for measuring results. And unfortunately, we don't have time to go in them. I will promote my book a little bit. I do have a whole section on measurement in it and a lot of tips on measurement if that's something you're interested in. So let's go on to talk about the strategic framework that I'd like to share with you. So the three strategies for successful farm marketing are really about building customer loyalty, increasing sales per visit of the customer, and attracting new customers. And this is just a framework. It doesn't actually become a marketing strategy for you until you have a specific tactic that you're going to use to do these, one or more tactics, and some way that your a tangible goal that you're going to measure it. For example, if you want to attract new customers, then it might be, if you're a small farm, you might say 100 new customers over this season. If you're a big farm, it might be 1,000 or 5,000 new customers. But having a measurable goal is key to having a successful farm marketing strategy, knowing which tactics you're going to try out. It often helps in measurement to just try one tactic at once. So you can say, oh, I did that and suddenly this wonderful thing happened. You can't always do that. Sometimes you have to try a lot of things at once, but those are some general tips. I'm just going to quickly give you a few examples for each of these, and then we're going to go to our wonderful panelists who are going to talk to you about how they've used these strategies to grow their farm. So the first strategy is about building customer loyalty. And when I look at this, it gives me joy to look at this woman experiencing the joy in this beautiful field of sunflowers. And that really is the key to customer loyalty. If you can create that wonderful experience for people who visit your farm, they're going to want to come back, almost guaranteed. But there are some simple things you can do that also are examples of tactics that you could try. For example, it could even be giving them a coupon for the next visit. It's amazing how, if you're a coupon person, you will keep that coupon even if it's a year until you come apple picking again. It can be very effective. You do have to be able to stay in touch with people so you can remind them what a great time they had and get them excited about your offerings. And that could be email, texting, social media, snail mail, and then rewarding them for their loyalty. I'm a big fan of this. It can be an informal thing where maybe you have some, you know who your best customers are. So you let them come for pick your own activities a little early so that they avoid the crowds, or you get them in for a behind the scenes. Some people have formal loyalty programs set up with their point of sale system where someone reaches a certain amount of visits or sales and they get some kind of perk automatically rewarded to them. These are all things that can really help you with the building customer loyalty. So a couple of tips on the increasing sales per visit. And I want to say that not everybody is able to spend more or even spend anything when they're visiting your farm. And the point of this is, if there is something that you can offer that they would be spending money on anyway off your farm, and you can provide something meaningful that reflects the farm experience on your farm, then that's kind of a win-win. So for example, selling refreshments, having something delicious that appeals to them on a hot day, offering additional products or experiences. Merchandise is something that people go crazy for, hats and t-shirts. And what's nice about merchandise is that they're a walking billboard for you. They're advertising your farm when they're walking around. And you can even use it as a perk to reward your customers for their loyalty. So just those ideas. And then a few about how to attract new customers. The reason this is number 3, and you might think, oh, why isn't that number 1? This is the hardest to do. Much easier to keep an existing customer than it is to get new customers. There's so much competing for our attention, our time, and it can be very time consuming and or costly. But there's so many simple things you can do. Like, for example, in this photo, this beautiful road sign from a family farm. I mentioned the QR codes, partnering with other businesses. A lot of you do that. Like, say there's a local winery near you. Maybe you can offer some kind of package where if they visit your farm and then they go to the winery afterwards, they get a special deal. Social media and review sites. A lot of us love to hate them, but they really are a great way to reach new people. We already talked about Google advertising and so on. So those are all very good ways, some that are free, some that cost money, that you can look into. So I want to introduce our first farmer, Ellen Parley, the co-owner of Parley Farms. I met Ellen, I think it was about 10 years ago. I did a small project for her, and I was just so impressed with Ellen and her farm. It was just such a great atmosphere. I still remember the delicious blueberry smoothie I had from her farm stand. And she's also just a really savvy marketer. She does a lot of things that follow some of the strategies that I've shared today. So Ellen, please go ahead.
Great. Well, thank you for that nice introduction, Myrna. And I appreciate being invited today to participate in this program. I am, again, Ellen Parley from Parley Farms in Tingsboro, Massachusetts. And let me give you a little bit of history on our farm. My husband and I, Mark, had a dream of becoming farmers. In 1987, we planted 4 acres of pick-your-own strawberries on rented land. And under a blue tarp, And with a plank for a table, we were open for 4 weeks. Today, we own over 100 acres, have diversified fruit plantings and offerings and infrastructure, and we're open for about 5 months. Our primary goal has always been to produce and sell top quality fruits. The size of our operation is quite different from 1987, and so are our marketing strategies. There may be some of you out there who remember that in the late 1980s, newspapers were the primary method for advertising. And if we got lucky, we would be featured in an article. We really stepped up our game in the early 2000s when we paid for cable news ads. However, over the last 10 years, our entire marketing strategy has changed. We have always felt that growing the best quality fruits and flowers is a primary step in building customer loyalty, but we always knew that wouldn't be enough. To sell our products, we start by hiring friendly, helpful employees that make our customers feel welcome. Most importantly, we never take our employees for granted. Our name may be on the door, but our employees are the face of Parley Farms. To improve the customer experience, we strive to keep wait times to a minimum. We carry extra staff so that at the busy times we can add more checkouts. If our customers spend less time waiting in line, they are happier and we are less stressed. In the late 1990s, we added Annie's Animal Barns with young farm animals to pet and feed. It has expanded over the years and our customers come back every year to see the new baby goats. Cleanliness is a top priority for all of us at the farm. About 10 years ago, we added a large restroom facility and permanent hand washing stations. I'm sure many of you are wondering how restrooms build customer loyalty. You would be shocked at how many people comment on how nice our bathrooms are. Our email newsletter is a critical component to keeping our customers informed about what is happening on the farm. We try not to inundate them with emails, so we only issue 1 to 2 emails per week during the season. And what do our email subscribers get? In addition to receiving in their mailbox the schedule for the weekend, they are also the first to receive notice of a new crop available for picking, specials, and farm side pickup opportunities. We find emails to be a very effective way to communicate with our most loyal customers. Remember that as a business owner, you own your email list. Mark Zuckerberg owns your Facebook and Instagram follower list. So part of increasing our sales per customer, while our pick your own crops are the biggest source of our revenue, we want to make the trip to Parley Farm special for our customers. Over the years, we've added a wide range of food offerings. Apple cider donuts are always in demand and offered throughout the entire season. Mary's Country Kitchen offers ice cream and fresh fruit desserts, including old-fashioned strawberry shortcake, warm blueberry crisp, and warm apple crisp, all made on site in our bakery. In addition to those items, our bakery staff also creates muffins, fruit scones, tea breads, cookies, and other delicious treats made from scratch. During the fall season, our roasted corn has developed quite the following. It takes 27 minutes in the roaster to create the best corn on the cob that you've ever had. Last fall, we opened the Lunchbox, a food trailer to fulfill customer requests for lunch items. We started with an extremely simple menu to make sure we could get the flow correct. A technique we used to introduce our customers to the Lunchbox was to give away a hamburger one weekend. Yep, that's right. We gave away a free hamburger with the purchase of a pick your own apple bag. And at least 80% of the time, the customer purchased something else from the Lunchbox when redeeming the free hamburger. Anytime we've introduced a new offering, we offer specials to encourage our customers to try it. This strategy has also been successful when trying to increase sales of existing products or overlapping crops. For example, we had a promotion last fall, buy a pick your own apple bag and get $2 off any pumpkin purchase of $5 or more. This special increased pumpkin sales early in the fall season when apples are significantly more popular. We have many customers who support us through purchases in our farm stand. We offer our own fresh picked fruits, flowers, and corn. And since we do not wholesale, these items are only available in our farm stand. We also offer local vegetables, honey, drinks, swag, jams, baskets, all items which make a trip to the farm a little more special. To attract new customers, our marketing has evolved over the years. As I previously stated, in our early years, we used newspaper ads and cable TV commercials. We now focus on our online presence. We have used an SEO company for over 10 years to help keep our website near the top of Google rankings. In addition, they produce detailed reports analyzing our traffic and compare traffic to previous years. And they also help us with blog writing. During the season, we personally update our website daily with current picking conditions and additional information on our Today's Farm news page. And to increase email subscribers, we add a banner to our website to encourage visitors to sign up for our newsletter. During the season, over 100 new email subscribers per week are added through the banner. Our social media channels, Facebook and Instagram, are updated daily during the season. Even though we have over 40,000 followers on Facebook, we promote and target almost all of our posts to make sure those posts get seen by the people we want to see them. We usually spend somewhere between $20 and $200 per post, depending upon the response we're looking for. Since 2018, we have used a professional photographer to take photos during each of our picking seasons to populate these channels. She obtains a signed consent for the photo release, which allows us to use the photos in all of our marketing. In this past season, we hired a videographer to document our late summer and fall picking seasons. These videos are now available on our YouTube channel, and we will be promoting them in the upcoming season. We've also created different photo ops around the farm so our customers can post their visit to the farm on their social media accounts and introduce us to their followers. Marketing is constantly changing, and I'm constantly learning new things. I thank you for your time today, and I'll be happy to answer any questions at the end of the presentation.
Wow, that was fantastic, Ellen. It's so impressive what you've done and how you continue to grow. And it's obvious that your customers love you and why they love you.
Well, thank you, Myrna. That's very nice.
Well, I'm excited to introduce Ryan Wilson, who is an equally amazing farmer. I had the chance to meet Ryan Wilson through when I was doing research for my book a couple years ago. And he has really impressed me with just how he keeps adding amazing attractions to his farm, keeps building on having a great customer experience, and then also uses a lot of some of the same advanced marketing techniques that Ellen uses, and a lot of creative tactics that I haven't seen other farmers use. So I think you'll be equally excited to hear what Ryan has to share.
Wow, thank you, Myrna. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here, and welcome everybody from wherever you are in the world today. A little bit about myself and the farm. My parents bought the farm in 1992. So it's truly a family farm. It's right now currently about 120 acres. And when they bought the farm, it was completely dilapidated. It had not been cared for. It needed a ton of work. So you can imagine 120 acres needing a lot of work. So it was bought actually as a retirement project by my parents. And their thought was, when this was a way for them, when they got old and they retired from their careers, to stay mentally and physically active. And quite honestly, I think it was probably a ploy for my dad to buy toys in the form of tractors and other machinery and justify it to my mom. So myself and my brothers became involved a few years ago when my dad had passed, and are now fully involved with the farm and in every aspect of it. So the goal always for the farm was always about education and providing a positive experience. So education to people that come and don't know anything about the farm. We're teaching them about the fruit that we grow, the practices that we use, and making sure that they have a positive experience. So you can see on the slide, we are primarily a pick your own orchard. So we have 26 varieties of apples. We have peaches, we have blueberries, and we have cut your own Christmas trees. One thing to add to that is also pumpkins and gourds as well. We do a lot of business with pumpkins and gourds. So that's kind of the first main point. The second point there, hay rides, school tours, cross-country running, hiking trails, events, a lot of stuff going on. And our mentality has always been diversity is key to running a successful agritourism operation. So this isn't necessarily an apple orchard, it is a farm. We do offer hay rides throughout the fall. Traditionally, our farm is open. We open in July, August timeline with blueberries, and we close typically in November with the last of the apple variety, November, December timeline. So we run hay rides throughout that time period. People, take the hay ride up to pick your own pumpkins. We drop them off. It's a great way for us to control where people go to pick apples because different blocks come into season at different times. So if you can drop people off, there's less confusion about where to go to pick the best apples or the ripest apples. So that's one real benefit of having a hayride. The school tours, we run school tours for a variety of ages, everything from preschool all the way up to high school. And we also run a variety of other tours besides school tours. So senior tours, senior citizen tours, as well as special needs. We've gotten involved with Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, so that the tours go beyond just school tours. For the past few years, probably 10 years now, we are also very involved with the local school districts and running cross-country races. So they use our farm to host their cross-country meets throughout the fall season. We have about 6 miles of trails through the woods, and you can run a full race in the woods, or you can run it in the woods and in the orchard. It gives a lot of variety to the terrain. And gives them a dedicated space year in and year out to be able to host. We have a full commercial kitchen that we use to bake throughout the fall. So we'll get into that a little bit, but we can bake and cook just about anything in that commercial kitchen. And then on top of that, the last 2 points, we have a full equestrian arena, both an indoor and outdoor arena. With stall space. And right now we have a woman by the name of Tori Roddick, who is a trainer, and she shows horses as well. They do quarter horses. We have 25 quarter horses now, American quarter horses that stay there year round. People there full time to watch over them and to take care of them. And it's always nice to have horses on a farm. People that come to the farm really get a treat by seeing people train in some of the arenas when they visit. And the last point, which we'll get into, is the Haunted Overload. This is another attraction that the farm hosts every fall, every October. So we'll get into that in a little bit. So building customer loyalty. I wonder if everybody has this problem as well. I feel like this is a challenge, especially in the Northeast and in New England, because we have a lot of farms here. So as I mentioned previously, one of the most important things that we focus on is the positive, memorable experience. And this is, as you can see in the picture of the school kids, this is one way we do it with school visits and tours. So every year we book school tours, again, for all ages, to come and do a farm tour. And we go through everything as far as what it takes to operate a farm, what it takes to grow apples, as well as all the other produce that we grow at the farm. So when kids visit, they often come with chaperones, which can be parents for younger kids or teachers. And it gives them a preview of what we're doing. And as Myrna was saying earlier, we do coupons as well. So they walk away with coupons for a follow-up visit, which is a great way of building a positive experience, a memorable experience, and creating that loyalty to come back again for another visit. All of our staff is fully trained. We have a handbook which goes through all the policies. We have a consistent uniform. So if there are people that are in the store, we go with a dark green collared shirt that allows them to be easily identified. If it's staff that's in the parking lot, helping people park cars or finding spots, they have a bright yellow vest with our logo on the vest to identify who they are. So we make sure that we train our staff fully. We also use a lot of QR codes in the orchard for educational purposes about the product. So in addition to the signage that we have posted with the farm, talking about what we're doing and explaining the whys and the hows, we have a map of the farm. And the QR codes that we have also is a map for people to be able to pick up information about a specific apple that they're picking, what the best uses are. They lead to our website. So we're getting that traffic through QR codes of people researching while they're at the farm, as well as anything else that we're trying to explain or educate. One thing I want to mention on here is, and this is a project that we are completing this year, is that we will be offering free Wi-Fi throughout the farm for anybody that comes to visit. It is a way for us to be able to help grow our email database for newsletters, offer free Wi-Fi, and let people enjoy what they're doing, whether they're taking pictures and posting, or they are, again, doing research on that apple that they want to pick and find out what the best uses are prior but it allows us to help us build our e-newsletter as well as and grow that customer loyalty as well. So the Haunted Overload been just an incredible experience for us. A gentleman in 2010 approached us looking to see if we'd be interested in hosting a haunted attraction at the farm. And he had lost the space that he was in previously. So we had watched some videos and this was kind of a gap that we didn't have. We didn't have a haunted event or attraction at the farm at this point. So it was a nice fit for us. Little did we know how much of a monster, pun intended, and how big it would grow to. So this haunt is composed of about 5 acres in the woods adjacent to the farm. It is internationally known. It has been on TV multiple times. We've been consistently on the top 10 list, top 13 list of haunted attractions in the US. The last point there being we were featured on ABC in the show called The Great Halloween Fright Fight, which was in 2014. It was syndicated in 132 countries and seen by, I think it was 3 or 4 million people that watched that. It has grown from 5,000 to 6,000 people the first year in 3 weekends to now over 35,000 people last year in 3 weekends. One of the great things that the haunt provides is that it really helps cross promote both people that are coming for the haunt and they learn about the farm, as well as people that come to the farm and learn about the haunt for the first time. So it really works on both sides there as far as the growth and getting more customers into the farm. A couple other points that I want to mention about this. This year, we will be hosting what's called the Legendary Haunt Tour. And that is an attraction for industry professionals that come and like to see behind the scenes and how we do things and what we do and tips and tricks. So it's great to have that aspect as well. And we've expanded to offer 3 different types of haunts. So traditionally it was only a nighttime haunt. We've offered now the daytime haunt for a few years, which brings a whole different demographic of people. Is more family oriented. So you can walk through the haunt during the day with your kids, where traditionally at nighttime, it's really more adults or older kids. So it allows us to reach a whole different audience where we wouldn't previously. The haunt now, because we have such a reputation, we're starting to get a lot of celebrities now every year. We're growing it where celebrities are coming and visiting. So it's been exciting to see it kind of grow and expand through YouTube and through different social media channels, TikTok and whatnot. And one of the things that really has helped it grow is that we've been able to become partners with a lot of different hotels, a lot of different restaurants within the area, because there are people that drive great distances to see this or fly into New Hampshire to see this. And it's nice to be able to offer and work with those local establishments as well. So helping to build customer loyalty, we've engaged with Square now. We started in 2016. This has 2 bullet points on here talking about creating our online store, which we did in 2020 as a result of the pandemic of COVID-19. But we've used Square for many years prior to that for taking payments. I like the ability to use different devices to take payments. Square offers devices. They offer products to attach to your phone to take payment right there on the spot, wherever you are. And that is kind of important. The versatility and the ease of use are 2 kind of things that we've really liked about Square. It allows us to track inventory, both physical inventory and virtual inventory. So we've set it up where we have inventory in our store, as well as our virtual inventory on our online store. And we can offer gift cards and we can offer virtual gift cards in the form of emails and whatnot to customers easily through our newsletter and our email list. So it's a nice way of being able to track everything in one place for us. It integrates nicely with MailChimp and with QuickBooks. And so we are able to take a lot of those emails that we have in both Square and send out newsletters or send out information or coupons to customers through our MailChimp account. And it allows us to really customize what we're sending out to you. You've elected to be part of an email listing. And so we really want to focus on either products that you've bought or new products that we've introduced, or, when the schedule for picking of your favorite apple that you bought last time you were here, when it's going to be ripe, all those kinds of things we can kind of hone in on. So increasing the sales per customer. This is always the challenge for everybody that's in business, right? How do you do that? How do you increase the sales? Well, one thing we did, and again, this is results from the pandemic, but we've decided to expand this, and we've added areas to this, is more outdoor shopping. And this was initially a result of people feeling like they didn't want to come inside a building and shop. So we opened up this open air market, essentially adding tents and being able to run our operation outside. Not only do we have a larger space under the tent where we can fit more people, we also have a lot more counter space outside. It allows people to get in faster. It allows people to see everything in one spot, and it makes it easier to get in and out, which we found as we continue to grow is really important. So we had to do some modifications. This tent that you see in this picture is right outside of our physical store location. So in order to do this, we needed to kind of think about what did we need to be successful with this. This included adding electrical outlets outside to be able to run refrigerators or run registers. We needed to make sure that the Wi-Fi outside was really, really strong to be able to run the Square equipment and be able to process credit cards. And we needed to make sure that it was very evident where lines were because it was outside. So it's always good to have and kind of hang around and be able to help people in a new environment where they're not necessarily used to this, where they've been used to being inside shopping. It's been a success. We've continued since the pandemic in 2020, and there's no plans to stop an outdoor store. We've gotten back to now on weekdays when it's quieter, running both indoor and outdoor, because there's certain things that we want to make sure we keep indoors. It's been a great success for us so far. So cider donuts. I think Ellen had mentioned cider donuts, and it's a staple in New England. We take a lot of pride in our donuts. As I mentioned before, we have a full commercial kitchen. The donut robots that we use pay for themselves immediately after a year, I think. So they are an investment. They are a lot of money, but they are well worth it. It really comes down to how you are constructing your donut, the types of spices, the types of materials that you're building your donut with. So it becomes an artisanal experience. Having a commercial kitchen, having the tools is one thing. It also comes down to the package and what it looks like. So the picture that's on the screen here is a picture of our half dozen donuts. I worked very closely with a graphic artist to design the label for them so they fit perfectly on the packaging. The packaging is designed to show the donut as much as you can. People want to see what they're getting. They want to make it really, really obvious that this is a quality product that you're spending money on. The packaging and the labels are not inexpensive, but they are well worth it and can be built into the cost. The last point too, and I will talk about cider donuts. One thing, if someone's coming for cider donuts, they're probably going to buy a pie as well. If you talk about it, buy cookies, or they're going to buy apple cider. And if they don't, shame on you for not pushing that and selling that to them, or at least giving them a free sample to come back next time and buy it because they liked it so much. So I think kind of once you get people hooked on it, they come back year after year. The biggest thing for us is always, we have a local affiliate station on Facebook that votes, and you can get your customers to vote in for best cider donuts. And that's always important because it's the free Facebook advertising and marketing that we push for that. We push for any type of press, and we will give donuts away, at no charge to people that just to try them and taste them, because you're going to get a customer in the long run. One of the things that we've done differently especially with donuts, which I think has helped us, is that we actually sell what's called an oops donut. And so when you run the dough and you make your donuts, you don't always necessarily get a perfect donut every single time. So those oops are something that we will sell as well to customers. So nothing is wasted and everything is sold. One more point, and which has kind of increased this year, and has been a nice revenue for us, especially with the Cider Donuts, is that we found people are now starting to email us and request donuts for their wedding or for their corporate events or for birthday parties and whatnot. So we've started to sell them now at a wholesale price rather than necessarily retail for larger quantities of 200 or more donuts at a time. So, that pushing the donuts and getting people to try it often can pay off in ways that you are not necessarily thinking about, immediate sale, but it may be 6 months down the road where someone is, having an event and saying, hey, I love these. Let's get these again next year or in 6 months for our event. So you always have to think about not necessarily the sale today, but what's going to happen in the future. So I spoke a little bit about the online store before, and it was a result of COVID being able to offer our products, both apples and baked goods, but also merchandise as well, hats and t-shirts and whatnot, to the general public that didn't feel comfortable coming in. We set it up as a curbside, so you could come out, drive your car up and let us know you were there, and we deliver it to your car. But we also had a ton of people that asked us to ship. And so we ended up shipping in our first year to, I think it was 12 or 13 different states in the US. And this is a result from people that had moved to different areas that didn't have that variety of fruit anymore. There was a lot of people that moved from New England down to Florida and really enjoyed the Honeycrisp and couldn't find that Honeycrisp apple anywhere. So we were able to package and ship to all over the United States. And we're continuing to do that today. So we're building the store again now and kind of making it bigger and better and fine tuning it. But this was something that was successful for us. One of the challenges that I had experienced and didn't really think about this until we got into it with online was making sure that we worked really closely with FedEx and making sure that we were incorporating appropriate shipping rates when we were sending out products or sending out, merchandise or fruit or whatnot. So if you're planning on going into the online and venture into that avenue, I would suggest working with UPS or FedEx or some other type of outfit and make sure that you're charging appropriate rates when you build it into the pricing of your products. Extremely important. So for us, we've worked with other farms. We've sold other farms online, different products for their CSAs. It starts in the summertime for us with blueberries in July, and moving into August is apples and peaches. So it really, once it starts, it hits you hard, and you have to stay on top of it. You have to be able to have someone that can handle that aspect of the business and focus on that, because there's so many things that are going on. So attracting new customers, making people smile is always important, and getting that customer. And if they smile, they're more likely to come back and smile again. So this pickup truck here that you see in the picture was a new addition for the farm. We purchased it in 2021. It went through a restoration, and the goal was for it to look like the quintessential pickup truck that you see in every picture on a farm, whether it's holding a Christmas tree or a bag of apples or whatever. And that was kind of what we use as our rolling billboard to market and to advertise the farm. The truck here, it's a 1949 Ford pickup. Of course, it's red for an apple orchard. I had a friend of mine who does signs, makes signs, makes some magnets for the doors. So those labels are easily, or the logo rather, is easily removed. And then so it can be removed, and what we do is we rent the truck out for photo shoots for people that are getting married and want a truck for their wedding or for other corporate events. I should say, in addition to the truck, we also rent the farm out for photo shoots as well in the fall. A lot of families use it as their backdrop. So it kind of can go with the farm, or it can go separately. But this is a picture of us. We had worked with a local museum. They were doing a event called Ghosts in the Bank, and they had bought pumpkins from us, and we were delivering the pumpkins. I will tell you, after we took that picture, there was probably about 50 people that came up that worked at the museum that took pictures with the truck, and our logo is in every single one of those pictures. So it's a great way for people to come over, to say hello, to ask about it. And that ultimately leads into conversation about, well, what else do you do? besides the truck, what else do you have? And ultimately that turns into a visit and a sale. So it's just a very great way of helping to advertise and promote your business. So it makes people smile. What was important to us, and if you're thinking about this, was that multiple people had to be able to drive the truck. And so we ended up putting in an automatic transmission so that multiple people can drive it, because not everybody can drive a manual. So if you're going to do it, all those little things to think of are really important. So we've gotten a lot of help from professionals over the years. We've gotten help from professionals as far as website design and building websites, of helping to advertise. We do most, if not all, of our own marketing. Ella had mentioned social media. Website is really important as well, but it's staying diligent, and during the season that you're open, it's doing it on a regular basis. And that may be a daily basis, it may be every other day, it may be once a week, but on a regular basis of being able to market and promote your operation. We use a mix of both free and paid social media. So traditionally earlier in the season, to get people out, it is paid ads. But as the season kind of goes on, it becomes organic. A lot of it is getting tagged in pictures from people that visit, which is great because you can repost those. It's staying active on every social site. So I have links on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all the usual suspects, but it's utilizing those to the best of your ability. I've gotten help from professionals on how to do that. And I think once you learn once, and once they show you, you can manage it yourself. We've hired professional photographers. The picture that you saw of the haunt earlier is a professional photographer, but there's also opportunity for drone, people that film with drone. I will tell you that the haunt, 5 acres of lights and fog and smoke coming out at night, is really dramatic. And it is another way of getting people interested in coming that haven't come before. So SEO is extremely important. The marketing agency that we worked with, I've referred to them to other operations that we've worked with as well. And so they're just excellent. And I'm happy to provide that information if anybody's looking for who we use. But really, really important as far as getting help from people that know what they're doing and specialize in that.
This was fantastic. Both Ellen and Ryan are just so impressive in the number of wonderful things you do, both on the farm to create the experience and then through your marketing to make it effective. So I know we only have a few minutes for questions, but let me stop the share so Lisa can take back over.
Thank you so much. That was so interesting to hear from all of you. We have a ton of really great questions that have come in. We just have time for, I'd say, 1, maybe 2 questions, depending on how long the answers go. So I'll throw all of you one question, multi-part question. So this is something that was asked a lot of times in the registration and that also came up today, which is, if you have a very small budget, what's your best return on investment? What would you put that towards if you had not much money and not much time? And then along with that, Ryan and Ellen, if you're willing to share, somebody else asked, how big is your marketing budget? Ryan, so and also how much time you spend, you and other people. So if you're willing to share that, I think people would be interested. Of course, totally understand if you're not willing to share. Ellen, let's start with you.
I guess if I started with a small budget, it depends what your business is, because I think you should, like, if you're looking for families with small children to come to your farm, maybe you want to be looking at more Instagram with photos like that. And you can spend money as you need to. Maybe some moms groups. We have found some success with having moms groups promote us as well. So I think it depends on what you want, but obviously a good website is critical. No matter what you do, you need a good website, and money will not be wasted if you put it towards that. In terms of how much we spend, our percentage has actually gone down over the years, so that now we're down to probably about 1% of our total revenue or less in marketing, because some of it's free, some of it's, we are just, the way we're focusing more on our online stuff, they're more fixed costs now for us, it appears. But, it doesn't, if something new comes up, I'm very willing, that I think will be helpful, like the videographer this year, that was a new input. to me, it was worth the money we put towards it. So I think it depends on what your budget is, but website to me would be the most important thing you could do to keep your business.
Ryan, what do you think?
Let me unmute myself. I'm going to go in a different direction and say the amount of time that you spend is really determines more necessarily more bang for the buck is the time that you spend doing this. So the time that you spend at night, if you can learn how to do your website, that's a free cost rather than paying someone to do that. Getting registered and listed is extremely important. There are certain websites that I go to every year to make sure that our events that we're hosting every year are listed. So as far as a budget wise, and probably everybody's looking for a dollar amount, I would say annually, we probably are in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $8,000 a year that we spend for marketing, for photographers, but the majority of that comes from the time that you put in promoting your business in one fashion or another, whether it's website or whether it's social media or whether it's networking with people that can help you and help promote, your operation or whatnot. That's the biggest thing.
Thank you. Myrna, any closing comments before we wrap up the webinar?
I would just say thanks again to the panelists, and that to just ask yourself as you're thinking about this, what can I do to increase loyalty? What can I do to increase sales per visit? What can I do to attract new customers? And just try one new tactic in each of those categories, and you're likely to be successful.
That's great. Thank you so much. In closing, thank you to our panelists and to all of you. I know the chat was lighting up, and it was great to see the sharing in the chat as well. And sorry that we did not get to all of the questions, but Lisa Flynn is going to send out an email as soon as this recording is ready and uploaded on our website. And our website, by the way, is go.uvm.edu/agritourism. Lisa will send out an email to all of you. You're registered, so we have your contact info. And with that email, you'll have a link to the recording. You'll also have the email addresses of our panelists. They have agreed to share their contact info. So I know many of you asked for the names of specific SEO companies and various other tips that they mentioned. Feel free to reach out to our panelists afterwards, and we'll also send you all the links that were dropped into chat. We do want to keep this conversation going about marketing, but also about other aspects of agritourism. So I want to bring up a couple more events coming up. On April 11th, we are organizing something a little different. It's going to be a networking session on Zoom meeting, and we're going to have breakout groups. This is part of the launch of a newly forming network called the Global Agritourism Network. And we'll start on April 11th. We'll start off that Zoom meeting with an introduction to the network and an invitation to be part of it. So we've got a variety of different committees that you could join, ranging from regenerative agritourism to education, to research, to conference planning, and even to World Agritourism Day. Some of you may have seen in chat a message from our friend in India, Pandurang Tiwari from Agritourism India. He is organizing the 16th World Agritourism Day, which will take place on May 15th and 16th. And Pandurang, feel free to drop that link into chat. It's www.worldagritourismday.com. And that's a 2-day online event about agritourism happening in India and all different parts of the globe. So I know we're just a little bit over time. I want to thank you all for being here today and sharing your great ideas in chat. Thanks to our panelists, and let's stay in touch. I hope I'll see you online or maybe even in person soon. Take care, everyone.